to the Trauma Myth series, and I'm going to outline 3 new ways to think about working with trauma, working with the wound. So whether your client had a huge traumatic experience or recovering from participating in a war or a large event like that, or whether it's just the traumatic experience of the difficulty of learning how to be spiritually whole here on earth, that alone can be traumatic. So I thought I'd tell you a little bit about how I develop my work, because I'm hearing a lot of questions about that. So basically, I started wondering about how to feel pain in a way that was healing, that didn't create more pain in my life. When I was about 10 years old and I was on my driveway at home and I fell and skinned my knee. And in skinning my knee, it was bleeding, I was crying, and I didn't know what to do. Because my parents weren't always helpful, frankly. And I'm bending down, crying, feeling the pain, and I look up and there's this boy about the same age right next to me. And he says to me, "You know what I do when I hurt? I lean into it, and the pain goes away, and I feel all better." Well, I looked again, and the boy was gone, and I call him my angelic helper. And ever since then, I've been exploring the world, trying to understand how can the pain transform? How can you actually lean into the difficulties in your life in a way that they transform? I've traveled all over the world. I studied meditation in Nepal. Actually, my first meditation class was when I was 14 years old, and I was feeling the pain of my boyfriend dying. He died of a heart attack on the way to ask me to go steady. Now, for a 14-year-old, that was a huge amount of pain. So that is when I really began my spiritual journey in understanding how does pain transform. You know, the Buddha talks about pain. Life is suffering. Life has suffering in it. So I want to tell you, you don't have to be the suffering that you feel. There is a better way. And I'm going to talk about 3 better ways right now. So when you or your client tells the story or feels their emotional pain of the trauma, of the negative event, of their wound, because we're really talking about fundamentally healing our wound. And so when the wound is so triggered, so painful, so overwhelming, one way of looking at it is just to talk about it. And I'm not saying never talk about it, but there's a way to feel that is healing. So feeling is not necessarily healing, but there's a way to feel and a way to talk about the pain that creates healing. And I'm going to give you a few tips right now. One of the tips is holding 2 places at once. If you're connected to your divine wholeness and you're really anchored into it, your vibration is going to be higher than the pain. But if you talk about it and feel it as if it is happening in the moment again, you're going to spread the pain. In the quantum level, in terms of energy and consciousness, what you focus on grows energetically. So if you're resonating at the pain as you're feeling it and talking about it, the pain's going to grow. If you're resonating, so part of you is really anchored into the wholeness and you're curious about how to heal the pain. And as you're talking about it, you're really aligned in your intention to heal and embody more of your wholeness. More healing can happen. So your brain is an organic structure, and we'll talk more about this in the next video. And your mind can resonate at a higher structure. If your mind is resonating at the place of the pain, the negative brain is not going to be rewired to higher consciousness. Your nervous system is not going to raise to a better regulated system unless your mind and your body are vibrating at a higher frequency when they feel the pain. So feeling is not necessarily healing. Talking about the trauma is not necessarily traumatic, because we live in this quantum reality where everything is particles of energy. And we have to really consider, what are we cultivating with how we talk and how we feel? Are we cultivating more pain, or are we embodying and incarnating more of our spiritual wholeness into physical form? So I truly believe pain is the energetic portal back to power, back to wholeness, back to positive creation. So you get that abundance, great life, that career, that special loving relationship. But you have to know how to connect to the lower vibrational particles of negative beliefs and emotional pain, old negative habituated patterns, in a way that they change and raise their frequency. And the best way to do that is to track the energy. Track the energy within you. And if you're a practitioner and you're holding space for a client who's feeling pain, you can use your voice, you can use your energy system, you can use your own frequency to help guide them back to a higher frequency. And that's what my work is all about. That's what my certification trainings, my online secret code program is all about, is learning how to change that quantum reality. So another trauma myth I want to say is that tracking energy and subtle energy, tracking that quantum level is just too hard. I hear that all the time. I've attended trainings and they're like, oh yeah, it's nice to say you can track the energy, but to actually do it, it takes years of practice. Well, the truth is, in this latest workshop that I just taught, everybody was tracking the energy. Everybody was seeing whether that vibration of pain, as the client was talking, was transforming or rewounding. I have learned how to teach you all, teach yourself on yourself, whether you're a practitioner or doing it for yourself, how to feel the pain in a way it transforms. And it's actually quite simple, because you're already tracking the energy. All I have to do is help you notice what you're already doing. It is natural for us to be able to track energy. We were innately born as energetic spiritual beings, and all I have to do is help you remember that. It's simple. When it's not easy, it's when your defenses get in the way, because your client can't transform from defense, but we'll talk more about that later. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk about the biological consciousness container in the next video. Sending love and joy along the way.